Hi, Miss Holly.
How you doing?
I am good. Um,
Good. Doing wonderful.
so, as soon the judge comes on, ACDC will, if courtroom two does not have any objection, would like to go first, please. And I said the word please
I
very slowly.
object, Your Honor. I object.
Well, she was so humbly requesting that. So if I may put on my robe and grant it.
Let me do
Thank-
my one female here first, and then you do the rest of yours.
I appreciate you very much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Ms. Bridgewater.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
Doing well. I hope you are as well. The SAP reset date,
It's April the 9th.
April 9th. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can I say something before you get started, please?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. White.
I received a call from the solicitor's office, and the case for Cornell White, they said it was a duplicate and that he shouldn't be in court today.
Okay. Who do we have on from the solicitor's office this afternoon? They're just logging on, Ms. White. Give me a moment.
Okay, thank you.
I have Mr. White on my calendar, so unless there's something that I don't know about, we should be addressing him. Good afternoon, Mr. Walker.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Are we talking about Mr. White?
Yes, Miss Brianna White was inquiring if he was going to be heard today.
So his actual case is going to be null price. That was a duplicate case. However, he does have an FTA warrant, as you're aware. That will have to be addressed on the SAP calendar.
Okay, so he's going to be on a future state all-purpose calendar, Miss White. You can be in touch with the solicitor's office to find out what that date is. Okay.
Okay, so I can leave this meeting and he should be released, correct?
No, he won't be released because he has a hold. He has a failure to appear. So until that's addressed, he will be in custody. But
I'm sorry, but the failure to appear received the bond.
Well, he could have a bond if he pays that bond. I guess he could bond down the FTA.
Yeah, it's been paid.
okay. Well, if that's the case, then he should be getting released, Miss White.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a good
Have a good
afternoon,
day.
man. Thank
You
you.
too. Bye-bye.
Your Honor, do you still want me to bring him up to Norcross the case or no?
I don't find that necessary unless somebody else does.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Afternoon, Norris. Hope you're doing well.
You're doing wonderful, Your Honor. Hope you're doing the
Excellent.
same.
Yes, yes, sir.
We're going to start
Let's-
off with position number 10, Ms. Robin Ferguson.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Ferguson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you. Ms. Ferguson, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001392A with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This defendant doesn't have any history.
In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 411 North Central Avenue, where they spoke with the victim, Ms. Farlita Kirkendale, from my understanding, the victim is the defendant's ex-wife's new girlfriend. My understanding, based on the warrant, they were doing a custody exchange. They did have some type of verbal disagreement that turned physical, at which point the defendant did punch the victim. The victim did sustain scratches and abrasions from the incident. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with Ms. Kirkendale, a 2-day anger awareness, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And of course, we assign for the victim, Ms. Alita Kirkendale.
Ms. Kirkendale is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Good afternoon,
Yes,
Mr.
hi, I'm
Todd.
here.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm here.
okay. Yes, ma'am. If you'll raise your right hand for me.
Yes,
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Yes, you can place your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
The only thing, my concern in this situation, were the children that were, present during this, this altercation. There were actually, there was no verbal contact between myself and, Ms. Ferguson. It was just a straight attack upon myself. And my true only concern are the children that were involved during this, happening. So that's really, I think that's the most important thing to take away from this.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kirkendale. We appreciate
Thank
you being here this afternoon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Ty?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My client is a 37-year-old mother of one minor child. She has lived in Georgia for over 10 years. As you heard, this is her very first arrest. She has absolutely no criminal history. She is gainfully employed at BDC Cleaning as a supervisor, and has been doing that for the last 3 years. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. She's fine with no further contact. And I would object to an anger awareness, certainly to 2-day anger awareness. This is her very first arrest. She does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. So just ask for a signature bond through the jail. I object to the anger awareness and nothing further, Your Honor.
This North Central Avenue address, whose address is that? Do we know?
I believe that's a mutually agreed upon place that they were exchanging the child at. I don't think it's of any.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. As such, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Kirkendale, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Ferguson.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, she had another charge on her booking screen, the cruelty to children, 3rd degree. Was that NOD?
I believe it was the NOD. I'll confirm that it was submitted, Deputy Norris.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Here, ACDC before you is position 8, Ms. Jemiah Evans.
Good afternoon, Officer Milton. Good afternoon, Ms. Evans. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Your Honor,
Thank you.
my name's Fallon Stokes. I'm counsel on behalf of Jemiah this afternoon. Sorry about that. I would have jumped on sooner when I heard her name.
Okay, you're fine, Ms. Stokes. Good afternoon. I was just addressing your client. Ms. Evans, again, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Evans, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001386C with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant does not have any history and is recommended for a UJR through the jail. Nothing further.
Yeah, Sean, I believe this is a dual arrest. Let me just check to see.
It is.
Okay, do we know the position? I just want to make the court aware. Do we know?
It's Miss Sims.
17.
Okay, position 17. So in this case, 1 second. Law enforcement was dispatched to 15 James P. Brawley Drive, which is Clark Atlanta University. From my understanding that both parties are students there and they are also roommates. They were having some type of verbal disagreement and things turned physical. Both parties were arrested. I believe contact has been made with at least one of their counsels, and the state has already agreed to a SOB through the jail. We're gonna ask for no violent contact with each party. No weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And again, I do believe this is a dual arrest with position 17.
Yes, Ms. Stokes.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's when was pretty much been agreed to. It was an altercation while they were on campus in the dorm room. And I guess police were called and they were arrested. But yes, we have no objection to the signature bond through the jail, as well as the no violent contact provision, because that allows her, if she needs to go on campus and be around, I'm sorry, Miss Sims, I believe, who's the other party involved. That is no issue with that regarding classes. I've spoken to Miss Evans's mother, who was trying to attempt to attend court this afternoon, but she wasn't allowed to go in. She's anticipating on taking Jemiah back home to New York to complete her studies for the remainder of the school year online. So she will be residing at her home address at 1426 Edwards Avenue, apartment 4, Bronx, New York, 10461.
Okay, as there's been an agreement, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Sims, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And good luck to you, Ms. Evans. Anything further this afternoon, Ms. Stokes?
No, that completes my business with the court. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Do we have Ms. Sims there?
Yes, Your Honor, she's right here.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Sims. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ms. Sims, you have been charged in case 24 CR 001389A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
No history to report, and she's also recommended for a UGR through the jail.
It's gonna be the same recommendation, Your Honor. Signature bond through the jail, no violent contact with Ms. Jemiah Evans, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. Is this your case?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, it is. We have no objection to the recommendation.
Okay, as such, it will be a 2,000. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like the other young lady is going to leave the campus because they were actual roommates, and my client is not from Atlanta, so she needs to stay on campus.
Okay. It will be no a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Evans, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, Ms. Sims.
Thank you.
Next, Your Honor, is position 21. And after position 21, we're gonna have position 3. Come on, Ms. Tobias. Have a seat, please. Not you, not you. You sit down.
Good afternoon, Ms. Tobias. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
The judge is asking you, do you want your case heard by video? Yes or no?
What would happen if I said no?
I would note your objection and I would continue on. Can we do this by video, Ms. Tobias? Do I have your agreement?
I'm not sure that I would like it done by video.
Okay, well, I will note your possible objection to doing this by video. Ms. Tobias, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001396Y with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
No, Your Honor, there's no history, and she's recommended for a UGR through the jail.
In this case, Your Honor, law enforcement was dispatched to 4366 Skyland Drive, where they met with the owner, Mr. Maxie Patterson. He owns that property. It's currently under renovations. This defendant had came and entered that location multiple times. I believe she was last issued a criminal trespass warning on March 16th, only to return. The state is just asking for a signature bond through the jail, a stay away from 4366 Skyland Drive, no contact with the owner, Mr. Maxie Patterson, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. I'm not sure if Mr. Patterson is on the line, but if he is, we would sound for him.
Mr. Patterson is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Good afternoon, Ms. Kim.
Yes, we have no objection, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I'm going to send it through pretrial. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1 day, level 1, stay away from the Skyland Drive address. No further contact with Mr. Patterson, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, I apologize, but she does not have a phone right now. She's retired and she is 63 years old. I think we would like to request for a signature on bond through jail. She does have a biology degree. Your Honor, she has been here in Georgia ever since from 1978, and yet as of now, she does not have a phone.
Okay, I'll send it through the jail, Ms. Kim, on your request.
Thank you.
That's SOB 2000 SOB jail. That's 2000 SOB jail, Your Honor.
Yes.
That's correct, Officer Milton.
Milton, who was that?
That's correct. Okay, my internet keep going now. Position 3.
That was
Okay.
Tobias, Norris.
Position 21 was.
No, yeah, next is position 3. Sit down,
Okay.
please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ms. Brady. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. Are you listening to me? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure you can hear me. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
Ms. Brady, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001363A with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 18 arrest cycles with arrests out of Kansas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. There's a misdemeanor conviction in 2021 for disturbing the peace, 2023 indecent exposure. The last arrest was February 26, 2024 out of Lawrence, Kansas for criminal trespass. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 3, nothing further.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the 76 Circle gas station located at 74 Northside Drive. This defendant had previously been criminally trespassed there from March the 5th, and she returned to that location where she was arrested. State is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, a stay away from 74 Northside Drive, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
And let's see, whose case is this? This your case, Mr. Cook? If so, okay, there you go.
Yes, sure. We have no objection to the state's recommendation.
Okay, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. Stay away from the Circle Gas on Northside Drive, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Brady.
All right, Judge, can we do position 7, 3 South?
Okay. And this is Mr. Edwards.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Edwards, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001384D with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 6 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Maryland. There was a felony conviction in 2021 for aggravated assault. They received first offender treatment, and it appears that they're on first offender probation for that. That was also their last arrest. That case number is 21 SC 177829, and the recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 2. Nothing further to report.
Good afternoon, Mr. Graham.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I also want to point out this is a co-defendant case as well, position 18.
Okay.
This incident took place on March 23rd, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a dispute call at 1352 Harbin Road Southwest in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer noticed Asante Edwards and Alexis Smith pushing each other in the front yard in front of a minor child, initials MR. Mr. Edwards stated that Ms. Smith arrived at his residence unannounced, demanding that he watch their son so she could attend a birthday party. He advised he was not going to be able to watch the child. He went inside, heard a loud bang outside. Once back outside, he noticed Miss Smith had a jack in her hand. He attempted to take the jack from her. She hit him in the face, and an altercation began. Mr. Edwards complained of having a bruised wrist to the officer. Miss Smith stated that when she left her son by the door and walked away, Mr. Edwards punched her in the face and pushed her multiple times. That's when she picked up the jack to defend herself. She attempted to call 911. Mr. Edwards snatched the phone, tossed it in the backyard, then pulled her hair, causing a few of her braids to come out. She was taken to Grady for medical attention. A neighbor told the officer that he witnessed Mr. Edwards on top of Miss Smith while hitting her in the face. The two were arrested, the officer not being able to determine who was the primary aggressor. And Your Honor, based on the history and the facts alleged in the case, the state is requesting a $1,500 surety bond, $1,000 on the battery, and $500 on the cruelty. FVIP, no further contact with Alexis Smith, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Mr. Cook, is this your client?
Yes, Your Honor. We would have no objection except to the FVIP, Your Honor. We have no objection to the state's recommendation.
You don't have an objection to a $1,500 good bond?
Your Honor, given the, sure, we would like a signature only bond level 3, but I was not, I didn't think that the court would be inclined to do that, but yes, we would ask for signature bond level if that's possible.
Okay, for the battery family violence, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. For the cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Alexis Smith, third-party transfer of any minor children, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Edwards.
All right, next up, position 12.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Mr. Lane.
This is.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Lane. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. You've been charged in case 24CR001393C with battery family violence. Your history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 4 arrest cycles out of Georgia. I'm sorry, 4 arrest cycles total with arrests out of Georgia, Virginia, and New Jersey. Their last arrest was November the 2nd, 2022 out of Fulton for driving without a license. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 1. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 1185 Apartments located at 1185 Collier Road, where they met with the victim, Mr. Jamel Cooper. He advised that he was asleep. His roommate woke him up with some type of loud noise. They had a verbal disagreement that became physical. The defendant hit the victim with a candle, soap dispenser, and then a glass mirror. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with Mr. Cooper, a 2-day anger awareness course, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Enforcement is down for the victim, Mr. Jamel Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, I see you on the line. If you wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You, of course, do not have to address the court, but if you wish to address the court, you'll need to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll need to swear you in. Does not appear that Mr. Cooper wishes to address the court. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 36 years old. He is a Georgia resident as well as a Marine veteran. He is gainfully employed at Hormel Foods as a quality control technician. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant, and the warrant states that he was transported to Grady. He actually did sustain injuries and has a cast on his arm. He'd be fine with a stay away and no further contact. He does need a one-time law enforcement escort to get his things. He has really very little criminal history, only traffic violations, Your Honor. So no violent history at all, ever. I would object to an anger awareness, and I would ask for a signature on bond through the jail. Nothing further.
Okay. It will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Jamel Cooper. Stay away from the Collier Road address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Lane.
Your Honor, what was that bond amount? I apologize.
No, you're fine. $2,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Donald Price. I'm here on behalf of Jaquan Lane. I'm just trying to figure out, we haven't been able to contact him. He had no numbers to call anyone. So I'm here on I'm sorry, on his parents to try to figure out how to get him out of the situation, or how to get him from jail. We don't know anything in regards to the situation.
Okay, Mr. Price, good afternoon. I've given Mr. Lane a signature bond, so he'll be able to sign himself out. You'll need to, I'm not sure when that will be, but he will be released as soon as the jail can process him out. That might be later tonight or tomorrow. You may need to contact the jail to see when that will be, okay?
Is there any way we can give a number to so they can call us, or so he can be able to call us? He doesn't have any numbers.
Mr. Ty?
Yes, if you put your number in the chat, I'll try to get that phone number to him.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, can we revisit position number 22, please? His private attorney was on. I don't see him anymore. It was Daniel Kane. That was his attorney that was on here.
Is this for Mr. White?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. And that was the one that was null pros, right, Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Let's see, is the attorney for Mr. White still with us?
I was able to actually talk to him. He understands the situation, and I think that's why he signed out.
Okay. Well, if he comes back, I'll address him, Norris. But it appears that he has thank you, Ms. Kim. It appears that he has from Ms. Kim what he needs.
Okay, but I think, can I speak, sir?
And this is, are you Mr. White?
I am, Judge.
Oh, okay. So, Mr. White, let me just say, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say can be used against you. It's my understanding that one of your cases has been null pros, and the other one that you have or will make bond on. So, without your attorney here, you probably shouldn't say anything to the court. Okay. I don't want you to get yourself in any further trouble.
Judge, I don't mind. I'd rather speak. I think this is a duplicate case. We filed. Go ahead, ma'am.
Well, your case is the main case has been dismissed, Mr. White. So you don't need to be worried about that matter.
The battery case?
Yes, it's my understanding that that's been null pros.
So I don't have another charge. Obviously, the FTA is for the battery case, is for
okay.
FTA, and the lawyer filed a motion 3 days before prior.
Okay, and it was my understanding from our conversations a bit earlier that you've made bond on that matter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you don't have anything else holding you, you should be getting out.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, we're going to go to position number 1, Mr. Adams, Corey Adams.
Good afternoon, Mr. Adams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well, Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001379J with battery, family violence, 2 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant does not have any adult history and is recommended for UJR through the jail.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place March 23rd, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a dispute call at 1315 Northwest Drive in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer met with D'Angela Laster, who advised that she is the sister of Ajae Rogers, who was cornered in a room by Jacory Adams. The officer then called Mr. Adams out of the room, attempted to detain him. Mr. Adams resisted, placing his hands behind his back by pulling away. He had to be taken to the floor to be detained. When speaking with Ms. Rogers, she advised that she and Mr. Adams were having an argument, but she was very emotional and unable to provide a full statement. The witness, Ms. Laster, then advised that she did witness an argument, that the argument became physical when Mr. Adams pushed Ms. Rogers into the countertop and continued to push her inside the room where the kids were, where the altercation continued in front of the children. Ms. Laster then called 911, attempted to break up the altercation. When law enforcement arrived, the officers did observe marks on the left and right side of Ms. Rogers' face. Our office has been in touch with Ms. Rogers. She told us that she and Mr. Adams are not in a relationship. They do not live together. They do share 2 children. She stated she doesn't really remember the entire incident, but she did confirm that he was the aggressor, and he was pushing her around. She states this is not the first time it has happened, that he's been violent with her. Not the first time the police have been called, but the first time he's been arrested. The victim states she's not in fear of the defendant, that she's okay with having contact with him for the kids, and is okay with him coming to her residence to pick up and drop off the children. She also told our office they do not have a third party that can transfer the children, that she will be on Zoom. So if we can sound for Ms. Rogers at the end of the presentation, Your Honor. Based on the facts here, the state is requesting a $2,000 surety bond, $500 on each count. No further contact with IJ Rogers. Stay away from 1315 Northwest Drive. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
If Ms. D'Angela Rogers is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so, Mr. Graham. Mr. Cook? You're on mute.
Yeah. Sorry, given his lack of an adult record, Your Honor, he has no problem staying away from the incident location. That's not where he lives, and staying away from the alleged victim. As far as the children are concerned, he's willing to wait and not engage in any kind of third-party transfer until this case is resolved. We would ask the court to accept the recommendation of pretrial with a signature only bond through the jail.
Okay. It will be a $500 signature bond through pretrial on each count. Makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness. No further contact with Ms. Rogers. Stay away from the Northwest Drive address. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number 2, Mr. Justin Bell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Mr. Bell, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001380G with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 2 arrest cycles out of Georgia. Their last arrest was February 26, 2016 out of Fulton County for a DUI. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 1. Nothing further to report.
Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. So the arrest happened on March 24th, 2024. The first incident involving the same officer took place on March 17th, 2024. Officer Wells was working in extra duty at 410 Rucker Road, which is the Restoration Church, when he was approached by church security regarding Justin Bell, who had entered the church and was displaying unusual behavior for a church guest. Mr. Bell was seen walking around the church, asking about the security of the church, made several movements once seated that indicated he was uncomfortable in the chair. He got up, walked out midway through the service. He was seen taking a tactical bag out of the trunk of his car and placing it in the passenger seat before driving away. Roswell Special Investigation Detectives followed up and conducted surveillance on Mr. Bell, observed him on March 24th, pulling into the North Point Community Church at 4350 North Point Parkway in Alpharetta. Mr. Bell exhibited the same unusual behavior as the previous week, wandering around the sanctuary, displaying signs of nervousness, walking back and forth between the lower and upper level of the church. He was then told by officers to walk outside to talk to the officers. At that point, Mr. Bell began resisting commands, locking his arms by holding them to his chest, refusing to move forward, and refusing commands to stop resisting. After some resistance, 4 officers were able to take him to the ground and place him in handcuffs. While being questioned, Mr. Bell admitted to being at the Restoration Church the week prior. He displayed some signs of image issues. He continued, he could not remember parts of the conversation, small details about who was in the room, and could not explain his behavior. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is signature bond through pretrial. MHET, a stay away from Restoration Church, 410 Rucker Road, a stay away from North Point Community Church at 4350 North Point Parkway, Alpharetta, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Cook?
Your Honor, at the end of the day, this is a willful obstruction of law enforcement officer with no other underlying charge. We have no objection to any stay away or no contact. We would be looking for signature only bond through the jail.
Okay, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Stay away from the church on Walker Road, stay away from the church on North Point Parkway, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Bell.
Go to your turn. Next, Your Honor, we're going to go to position number 4, Mr. Castor, Joshua Castor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Castor. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Castor, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001381J with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, Your Honor, this defendant has a total of 57 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia, Alabama, and Oklahoma. Misdemeanor conviction in 2017 for disorderly conduct. 2023 simple assault, criminal trespass, and obstruction. 2023 theft by shoplifting. 2020 simple battery. Recommendation from the last arrest was February 12th, 2024 out of DeKalb for disorderly conduct. They appear to be on probation out of Fulton. 23 SC 185799 for simple assault, criminal trespass, and willful obstruction. Recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 3. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This Incident took place March 24, 2024. Law enforcement responded to the Emory Midtown Hospital at 550 Peachtree Street Northeast. Joshua Castor deliberately initiated physical contact with Christopher Martin, a medical professional at the facility, by striking him with a closed fist on his right jaw. Our office has not been able to be in touch with Mr. Martin, but we'd like to sound for him, Your Honor. And based on the history, the state is requesting a $1,000 surety bond, no further contact with Christopher Martin. Stay away from the Emory Midtown Hospital unless he's receiving treatment. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
If Mr. Christopher Martin is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we have no objection to the conditions of bond. It's, as I understand it, from the warrant, my client was at Emory Midtown, suffering from seizures, which can result in all kinds of physical movements. He denies the allegations as they are stated in the warrant. We believe at this time an early bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate would be the appropriate remedy here.
It will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. Stay away from the Emory Midtown Hospital unless he's receiving medical care. No further contact with Christopher Martin, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Castor.
We go to the second floor. Next, we're gonna go to position number 6, Mr. Timon Daly.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daly. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Daly, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001382H with battery family violence. Is there a history? Sorry.
This defendant has one arrest cycle in Georgia. It was their last arrest, which was July the 20th, 2023 out of Fulton County for cruelty to animals. And they're currently being supervised by pretrial on that. So we'll be surrendering that bond. The case number is 23 CR 004519H. Nothing further to report.
Okay. Graham?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place October 17th, 2023. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute at 779 Humphrey Street Southwest in Atlanta. Upon arrival, Jessica Gross told the officer that an argument with her boyfriend, Timon Daly, became physical when he bit her in the face, slapped her repeatedly, threw her on the ground, and dragged her by the hair. The officer did observe a bite mark on the left side of her face. Our office has not been in contact with Ms. Gross. We'd like to sound for her, Your Honor. And the state is requesting a $1,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Jessica Gross, stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
If Ms. Jessica Gross is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Yes, Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, my client has no objection to no further contact, or we would object to the 1-day anger awareness course. As far as the stay away, the alleged incident location, Humphrey Street, is his home. Ms. Gross does not live there and is not a resident there, and so we would ask that he be allowed to go back to his home. And we would be asking for a signature only bond at the level the court deems appropriate.
Okay, it will be a $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Miss Jessica Gross, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Daly.
Thank you. Go to the third row. Next, we're gonna go to position number 9, Mr. Noah Evans.
Good afternoon, Mr. Evans. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon. Yes, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001387F with simple battery, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
No, Your Honor, no history to report, and they're recommended for a UJR through the jail.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on March 23rd, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a fight in progress call at 352 Bass Street in Southwest Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officers observed Noah Evans in the driveway, wrapped in a blanket with a black shoe nearby. They spoke with Jacqueline Stevens, who advised that Mr. Evans was banging on her front door and asked to see a person by the name of Nora. Ms. Stevens stated that no one by that name lived at the residence and asked him to leave the property. When he refused, Ms. Stevens' son, DeMarquavius Stevens, came outside to escort him off of the property. As they made it to the end of the steps, Mr. Evans saw Ms. Stevens' daughter, Kamara, come out of the door and ran up the porch steps, tackling her, falling into the living room, where a physical altercation ensued. The Stevenses collectively were able to get Mr. Evans out of the house and call 911. Officers did detect an odor of alcohol from Mr. Evans. He did admit to drinking and was taken into custody. And Your Honor, the state is requesting a split bond, $1,000 surety bond on the simple battery, and signature bond through pretrial services on the other two counts. In ADET, no further contact with Jacqueline DeMarquavius or Kamara Stevens. Stay away from 352 Bass Street Southwest. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And Your Honor, if we can sound for Miss Jacqueline Stevens or Miss Kamara Stevens, I don't think our office has been in touch with them.
If anyone in the Stevens family is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know why there's so much feedback. I'll just go ahead. Your Honor, my client is 25 years old. He is a graduate of the University of Missouri. He was in Atlanta for the National Society of Black Engineers Conference. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant, and you heard that he has absolutely no criminal history. This is his very first arrest. He does state that the incident started, he thought that he was at his Airbnb, but he was at the wrong address. And things escalated quickly from there. He states that he was not the first aggressor, but just at the wrong location. He thought it was his Airbnb, but the Airbnb was, I think, 1 block over. I would, of course, object to an ADET. This is his very first arrest. He'd be fine with no further contact and stay away. And I would ask for a signature bond through the jail, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Okay, for each charge, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with any of the Stevenses. Stay away from the 352 Bass Street address, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Evans.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, is going to be position number 13, Mr. Joseph Lee.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lee. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Lee, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001399A with terroristic threats and acts. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 9 arrest cycles out of Georgia, a misdemeanor conviction in 2009 for DUI. Their last arrest was August the 5th, 2015 out of College Park for DUI. Recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 1. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 3565 Hogan Road where they met with the victim, Ms. Sharonita Sauls. She advised that she was doing her best friend's hair, at which time her best friend's boyfriend became upset for some reason. Things became heated, and then he told the victim that he would shoot her in the effing head. Based on the warrant, it's my understanding that her best friend and her friend's daughter both advised that they heard the defendant make this statement to the victim. We are asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no contact with Ms. Sauls, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and we would sound for the victim, Ms. Sharonita Sauls.
If Ms. Sauls is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is a 50-year-old father of 2 children. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He has been gainfully employed for over 20 years at FiberTel as a cable technician. He does deny the allegations and states that the complaining witness was the first aggressor. And even in the warrant, he states that he explained to the officer that the complaining witness threatened to send somebody or her boyfriend to my client's home, threatening him and his family's safety. Again, he does deny the allegations. You heard the criminal history. I mean, DUIs over, almost 10 years ago and more, 15 years ago. He has absolutely no violent history. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. No further contact with this complaining witness is fine. I'm not sure if the state asked for a stay away, but of course I would object to a stay away. It's his home. This person was there doing hair. Nothing further.
Okay, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Sauls, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, is going to be position number 14, Mr. Imarion Owens.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Owens. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Owens, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001383E with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
No, Your Honor, no history to report, and they're recommended for UJR through the jail.
In this case, Your Honor, law enforcement was dispatched to the Days Inn located at 4498 Washington Road, where they met with the victim, Ms. Nautica Quinn. She advised that her and her child's father were having a verbal disagreement, at which time he did strike her, causing her to have a swollen left eye and causing her nose and her lip to bleed. These injuries were observed by the reporting officer. Based on the warrant, they have I believe, a 6-month-old who was present with the initials of EO. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with the victims, the requirement of a family violence intervention program, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And of course, we will sound for the victim, Ms. Nautica Quinn.
If Ms. Nautica Quinn is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 21 years old. He has lived in Georgia for over 6 years now. He is the father of 1 minor child. He is a graduate of Benjamin Banneker High School. As you heard, this is his very first arrest. Your Honor, this is a Riverside issue. The booking sheet reflects that he was arrested March 22nd at 10:39 a.m. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail in light of that, with no further restrictions. It is his first arrest. I'll just go ahead and object to the family violence intervention program and the state's request for a signature bond through pretrial services. And for the record, he does deny the allegations. He states that it was only a verbal disagreement, Your Honor, and as to the blood from the nose, he does state that the complaining witness did just have her nose pierced, Your Honor. I did speak with the complaining witness, and she states that she does want contact with him, and she said she would be on the call, but she's already spoken to the victim advocate and stated the same thing, so I would ask for no violent contact. And I believe that the state has that information as well, that she does want contact with him. So, Your Honor, just a signature bond through the jail and no violent contact and nothing further.
Okay, for the cruelty to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. For the battery, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Makes it a total of a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Ms. Nadia Quinn, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Owens.
You done. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next is going to be position 15, Mr. Christopher Robles.
Good afternoon, Mr. Robles. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001385B with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
No history to report, and they're recommended for a UJR through the jail.
Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 450 Piedmont Avenue, where they spoke to the victim, Ishmael McKinstry. He advised that he and the defendant used to live together at one point in time. That's the basis for the battery family violence. They were having a disagreement that became physical, at which time the defendant did push the victim down a flight of stairs, approximately 10 to 15 steps, causing the victim to receive an injury and causing him to go to Piedmont for treatment. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, a 2-day anger awareness, no contact with the victim, Mr. Ishmael McKinstry. Stay away from the incident location, 450 Piedmont Ave, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. Of course, we would sign for the victim, Mr. Ishmael McKinstry.
If Mr. Ishmael McKinstry is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Robles, he is 31 years old. He was born in New York. However, he has been here in Georgia for the last 5 years. Your Honor, he actually is a doctorate degree. He has a PhD from the University of Miami. He's a teacher and he is gainfully employed right now, and he is missing a lot of classes. Your Honor, he denies the allegation, and this happened on August 15, 2022, and they have not had any contact during that time after that, and he does not live with him. The location 450 Piedmont Avenue is his address, and Mr. Ishmael McKinstry does not reside there, so he would like to return home, and we have no objection to no contact with him. We would like to request for signature on bond through jail. Thank you.
Okay, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Mr. McKinstry, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Robles.
Thank you.
You're
Next
welcome.
will be position number 19, Mr. Philip Smith.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Smith. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001391B with battery family violence. Is there a history?
This defendant has 7 arrest cycles out of Georgia, a felony conviction in 2006 for criminal damage to property. The last arrest was October the 22nd, 2022 out of Cobb County for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The recommendation from pretrial is a UGR level 1. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Your Honor, 1 second. I'm sorry, my computer froze. Okay, I have it. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 214 Harwell Place, where they spoke with the victim, Ms. Janelle Brown. She advised that her and her mother's boyfriend were in a verbal disagreement. Things became physical. based on the warrant, said that he pushed her down the stairs, grabbed her, then pressed his knee into her face and her neck area, then bit her. The victim did sustain bruising to her neck and her face, as well as bite marks to her finger. The state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victim, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and we would sound for the victim, Miss Janelle Brown.
If Ms. Janelle Brown is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, JB is still minor, so I kind of want to call her JB, Your Honor, and she is a stepdaughter. Her mother is right now at the hospital for pneumonia right now. My client, Mr. Smith, is 35 years old. He's gainfully employed as a delivery driver. He graduated from high school, and he has been here in Georgia more than Atlanta area more than 15 years, and he lived here in Georgia for all his life. And those charges from old time, it is more than 10 years. And we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 1. The JB is actually residing with father ever since this happened. Thank you.
So who's that? Is he at the Harwell Street address?
He is, Your Honor. We made contact with the mother, and she advised that she does not believe her daughter wants to have contact, and that he will need a one-time escort.
Okay, thank you. As such, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with JB. Stay away from the Harwell Street address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
Next is position number 20, Mr. Roger Stewart.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stewart. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001397G with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 8 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Illinois. There was a felony conviction in 1997 for family violence battery. The last arrest was December the 8th, 2021 out of Atlanta for a DUI. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 2. Nothing further to report.
And yes, Your Honor, I'm aware of the previous conviction. We are working to get a copy of that disposition so we could transfer it. But in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 976 Lenham Avenue, where they spoke to the victim, Ms. Sonia Dunans. She is on the line. She reported that her and the defendant are in a relationship and have lived together for approximately 9 months. They were having a verbal disagreement when he grabbed her by the neck. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. Of course, we would sound for the victim, Ms. Sonia Dunans. Or Dunning.
Ms. Sonia Dunaz, if you wish to address the court, I'll need for you to activate your camera.
Yes, I'm trying to activate it now. I'm not asking for.
Okay, wait. I need for you to activate your camera first, ma'am. Okay, there you go. Raise your right hand for me.
Right hand.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I want, we live together. So I want a no violent contact.
Okay. Has this ever happened before?
No, it hasn't. This is the first time. It's isolated.
And are you afraid of him?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to tell us?
No, that's it.
Okay. Thank you for being here this afternoon, ma'am. Ms.
You're
Kim?
welcome.
Yes, Mr. Stewart is 58 years old and he has not been employed because of his disability. So he is qualified for public defender services. He successfully graduated from high school. And Your Honor, he has doctor's appointment this coming March 27 for his heart and liver condition. So he really needs to get out of the jail to take care of his medical needs. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial as he is recommended and no further violent contact. Thanks.
It will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Nunez, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you.
Got it? Yeah. Take your time. Don, I got a few announcements.
Okay.
Position number 3, waive their appearance. Position 16, waive their appearance. And position number 11, that's gonna be a medical reset, sir.
Okay, so let me get, you said position number 3, but we handled 3.
Did we?
I have that we did. Skylar Brady,
Oh, that was position 3, maybe.
position 5.
I meant to say position 5, yeah, I apologize.
Okay, I'm sorry. So tell me again about position 5.
It waived the appearance.
It's a waiver, okay. So we have position 5. Position 11.
Medical reset.
Medical reset until tomorrow, and that's 3/26. And position 16 is a waiver.
That is correct, y'all.
And I'm sorry, position 18.
No, 16 is waiver.
Right, but what did we handle position 18?
I thought position 18 was in ACDC. I thought she was already handled. If not, I'll call over there and see if we can get her on.
Okay, I don't have, does anybody else?
We have not heard that.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll do these waivers and I'll wait to hear back from you on position 18, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. So let's go to position 5. Kawane Clay, 24 CR 001398A, charged with terroristic threats and acts. Let's see, is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
They don't have a history and recommended for UJR through the jail.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place March 22nd, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a dispute call at 532 Cleveland Avenue Southwest in Atlanta. Upon arrivals, the officers met with Latrinka, Latrinka Clay, who was restraining her son, Kawane Clay, on the ground. Once separated, Ms. Clay advised that she and her son got into a verbal altercation about him having a firearm in the house. Kawane became upset, stated that he was going to kill everybody in the house, and that's when she got on top of him to restrain him, to prevent him from hurting anyone else. Ms. Clay's daughter, Kishonda, corroborated the details of the incident. The firearm in question was discovered to be stolen out of Cherokee County. Kawane advised that he found the firearm in a walkway on the property. Our office has been in touch with Ms. Clay. She's the mother of Kawane. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated nothing like this has ever happened before, that he has medical issues, and he was a little bit frustrated. She's his caretaker. She's okay with him returning to the residence, that she's not in fear. She will be on Zoom. So if we can sound for Ms. Clay, Your Honor, the state is recommending a signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Latrinka Clay, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no firearms while out on bond.
Okay, is this Ms. Clay that's on with me here?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me, Ms. Clay, if you would like to address me? Do you swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell me?
Keywan, he's on dialysis. He had to go every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. and I'm his caretaker. I take care of him.
Okay, and let's see, do you want him back in the household?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No, he just get frustrated. You know, they be like that when they sick and stuff. He been sick all his life.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna order that he's not to have any weapons, guns or weapons in the house, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Ms. Clay. Mr. Cook?
All right.
Your Honor, we have no
Thank
objection.
you.
You're welcome.
We have no objection to the state's recommendation.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Ms. Clay, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Ms. Clay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let's go on to the next waiver, which is position number 16, Sailor, El Sufi Sailor, charged in case 24 CR 001388J with simple assault. Is there a history?
This defendant has 7 arrest cycles in Georgia. Let's see, their last arrest was December 19th, 2023 out of Fulton County for criminal trespass. That case is still open, case number 23 MAGC 07524. There's also another open case, 23 CR 003106J, and that's for terroristic threats and acts and criminal trespass. The recommendation from pretrial is a UGR level 3. Nothing further to report.
Yeah, Sean, in this case, law enforcement observed the defendant stumbling near Larry's Quick Shop located at 2717 Sylvan Road. The officer attempted to check with the defendant to make sure he was okay. At that time, the defendant pulled out a broom handle and told the officer he was going to pop him in his head. He then stumbled away again and then picked up a rock, threatening the officer with the rock and the broom handle. The officer was able to detain and arrest the defendant. The state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond. No violent contact with the officer, Anthony Henderson. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Your Honor, I would like to request for the live YouTube stream to be turned off because of MH issue. We can continue the recording. I'm just gonna say MH. He is actually in the